Hey world, what's up? It's Professor Swag. Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this. Football season start this week. We all know. But I'm gonna mention this. It ain't important, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Tom Brady is not gonna win the NFC South. He ain't even played with that team yet. Nobody wanna beat Tom Brady better than Matt Ryan. And honestly, I feel like the Saints have the best chance to actually take that division for that same reason. You ain't gotta like what I'm saying. You ain't gotta agree with me. You ain't gotta agree with a word I just said. But I'm telling you right now, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is not gonna win the NFC South. Mark my word, you heard it here first. So the reason I say Tom Brady ain't gonna make the playoffs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is simple. He ain't even played with the team yet. Now, Drew Brees has familiarity with his team. He's played with those guys before. Drew Brees know how Thomas does his routes. Drew Brees know how his running back does his routes. Not only that, usually somewhere halfway during the season, your QB gets hurt. Drew Brees has two reliable backup quarterbacks that he can count on. However, unfortunately, one of those is Jameis Winston, and we hope that he has improved as far as throwing interceptions, but he still threw for over 5,000 yards. Who is the backup for Tom Brady? Do we even know who the backup for Brady is? That's the question. Do we know who the backup is? I don't even know who the backup is. I don't think anybody else know who the backup is, unless you just a diehard Buccaneers fan, which ain't many of y'all. But back to the topic. Anyway, Drew Brees is in the best situation. He has familiarity with his coach and his players. He's a leader. And if he goes down, he has two good quarterbacks that can back him up. One is Taysom Hill. One is Jameis Winston. We know Jameis Winston, we had to work on his interception situation, but a little bit more experience and he'll be all right. Now let's look at the rest of the division. Nobody wants to beat Tom Brady better than Matt Ryan. Good old Matty Ryan wants to beat Tom Brady real bad. He wants his revenge from that 2017 Super Bowl. And he gets two chances per year now that Tom Brady is in his division. So, if you ask me, I'm saying that the Saints are going to be number one in that division. The second team will be the Falcons, because Matt Ryan also has familiarity with his receivers. You know, got Julio Jones, and he has consistent. He just added Todd Gurley to the backfield. That's what they did down there in Atlanta, and he's always had his receiving core has always been great for the most part. Matt Ryan always had great receivers. He never really had a good running game. Well, I ain't gonna say good running game, but a consistent running game in Atlanta. He haven't just so much had that. Hopefully he gets that out of Todd Gurley. We know Gurley is a great bat, but Gurley has to stay healthy to be proficient with this team. So I would pick the Saints first. And if it's a wild card pick and it happens to be a team out of the NFC South, Atlanta would be the second team. Brady and the Buccaneers, along with the Carolina Panthers, will tie for third. And it's a good chance that Carolina, the Atlanta Falcons, and Brady and the Buccaneers could have a three-way tie as far as their record concerned. You know, the tiebreakers will work themselves out, but it's a good chance that they may just tie. They could all tie for second. They could actually tie for second place, and then come down to tiebreakers. They can actually, and that would be the determining factor for who's deemed third and fourth place. But I'm saying Drew Brees and the Saints, they're going to win that division. Followed by Atlanta, they're going to win that division. Now, to get on to Carolina, the good thing about Carolina is, you know, Teddy Bridgewater did real good when he was with the Saints last season. You know, Carolina brought him on in. And in fact, Teddy Bridgewater is the one who actually kept them in the playoff picture while Drew Brees was hurt. So we can't just overlook that. I feel like Teddy Bridgewater will be a good QB with Carolina's new coach, Matt Rule. Matt Rule has a good, reputation for what he did the last 2 seasons. Matt Rule was at Temple. He turned that program around. Temple was excellent. And I believe they was the runner-up in their conference, competing with the University of Houston and Memphis. Those 3 were like the powerhouses of that conference, and he was coaching one of those 3 teams. He left that conference and went on over to the Big 12, and he took over a terrible situation with Baylor. Baylor had investigations out the wahoo upon the departure of Coach Art Browse. They was like 2-10 or something like that, and he went there and he turned that program around, and they went from like a 2-10 team to 10-2 or 10-3. Anyway, they had more wins than they did losses, and they had a Sugar Bowl appearance. So they didn't win, but they were outstanding. To see what he done with that program in 1 year was just outstanding. So if you're asking me and you taking my comments, I'm saying it like this. Atlanta gonna probably be second if you ask me. The Saints will be first. I'm saying Saints first with Drew Brees, because Drew Brees has the better situation. Atlanta, because Matt Ryan he's the leader of that team. He's familiar with the players of that team. Then it'll be down to Tampa Bay, and Carolina will be tied for third. That's the way I predict it. And the reason I say it, I look at it like this. Like I said, I just told you before, Brady haven't even played a game with that team yet. Bridgewater haven't played a game with the team that he's at. Now, I found like it's a good situation for Bridgewater because I don't really see him as a pro-style QB. He was very good with the college-style scheme, and I think that's what he's probably going to be dealing with Matt Rule. And I believe that will be a great fit for him. Now, with Tom Brady, even though he's the new guy, we know he got 9 Super Bowl appearances. He got 6 Super Bowl rings, and yes, but he's dealing with a pretty Brady has never really been surrounded by teams that got pretty stacked African American receivers. He's never really been surrounded by that. Not to mention he's in the South. He's his team is more urban than he's probably used to. So I really think he might not be the leader of that team the way the media is trying to make him out to be. The leader might actually end up being Evans. It's because Evans has seniority on that team, and the people that was already there are more familiar with Evans. I wouldn't be surprised if Evans is the captain or not. I don't know who the captains are. I ain't looked online, but this is just me, trying to think as far as that program down there in Tampa Bay. But hey, put your opinion down in the matter. It don't matter. You don't have to agree with me. Just type in your comments. You can follow me here on YouTube at Professor. And that's the first name. And just put a space in that little search engine and put an underscore and spell swag with 2 G's. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Professor_swag. And then you can listen to me on my podcast at anchor.fm/Professor-swag. And swag is spelled with 2 G's in all 3 of those scenarios. All right. So don't forget to hit that subscribe. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And thanks for, following my channel.